Welcome to the complete guide to Niue. There is nowhere like Niue. The world's largest uplifted coral atoll is a place of rugged coastal formations where exploring dramatic chasms, delving into limestone caves and finding yourself alone on white coral beaches is all part of the adventure. Not to mention the snorkeling and scuba diving in vividly clear water makes you feel like you've been dipped into an aquarium. The locals are also eager to show you their way of life, from tours of living off the stunning island rainforest to opportunities to learn how to craft and weave. Plus, with boutique accommodations scattered across the island, it often feels like the Rock of the Pacific is just for you. And depending on who you are, there is a holiday waiting, from family getaways to backpacking adventures to honeymoons. We go through each type of travel experience along with suggested activities and accommodation in this complete guide to travel into Niue. And then stick around until the end of the video when I'm going to be sharing 10 tips for you to make the most of your trip to Niue. First, let's start with a few fast facts about Niue. Niue is an island in the South Pacific Ocean between Tonga, Samoa and the Cook Islands. It is approximately 2,400 kilometers, which is 1,491 miles northeast of New Zealand. Niue has a population of 1,600 inhabitants. The climate in Niue has a daily average temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, which is 77 degrees Fahrenheit, and has a yearly rainfall of 1,955 millimeters, which is about 77 inches. You can find out more about the Niue weather on niuepocketguide.com. The Niue time zone is UTC GMT -11. Finally, how to get to Niue. Flights arrive twice weekly at the Hainan Airport with Air New Zealand from Auckland. Getting around the island relies on car and bicycle rental, airport transfer, and the island's one taxi. There are 8 different ways to get around Niue, and you can find out more about those on niuepocketguide.com. Let's start our exploration of the different type of holidays you can have in Niue with budget holidays. Niue is an effortlessly affordable Pacific destination. The top attractions on the island, such as magnificent coral arches, chasms, and snorkeling spots, are free to visit, and immersing in the local culture is simply part of your everyday. Budget accommodation options are available, such as guest houses, where you'll find yourself being part of the family, while self-catering is almost always an option. We have more tips for budget travel in Niue on niuepocketguide.com. Here are some examples of free things to do in Niue. Walk, snorkel and swim from Niue's sea tracks, discover Niue's historical sites, watch or try out some handicrafts, hit the island's bike trails, watch the whales and dolphins from the lookout. Niue's main type of budget accommodation is guest houses. These backpackers meet B&B accommodations have guests staying in private rooms of renovated family homes with communal bathroom, kitchen and lounge facilities. Alternatively, there are a few affordable holiday homes available in Niue. Next, let's cover luxury holidays in Niue. Niue doesn't pretend to be anything that it's not. It's not your glitz and glam Pacific destinations with 5-star resorts. That's not to say that there is no luxury to be found in Niue. There are certainly premium choices when it comes to accommodation, especially in terms of being in unique locations. As for activities, scuba and snorkeling in some of the world's clearest waters and enjoying hot spots all to yourself is just part of what Niue can offer. Some examples of luxury activities in Niue includes getting acquainted with the islands on an orientation tour, experiencing a close whale and dolphin encounter, browsing gorgeous ebony carvings and taking a tour to see how they are made, shopping for unique art and souvenirs, and playing golf on Niue's very own golf course. We have more activities, especially in the luxury realm on niuepocketguide.com. Niue's premium accommodations come in the form of villas perched on clifftops with amazing views, 4-star resorts with everything you need, private holiday homes, and more. Compare some of Niue's most lavish offering on niuepocketguide.com. Next up, Foodie holidays in Niue. At first glance, Niue seems to be all about the landscapes and the underwater world. What surprises many visitors is how much of a foodie destination Niue is. From morning markets with many intriguing foods to hands-on plantation tours, there are many unique ways to get your foodie fix in Niue. Not to mention the restaurants here will take your taste bud on a trip across the world, but only using the freshest Pacific ingredient from Japan to Europe. Some foodie-related activities in Niue include learning how to bait and hunt unga, taking part in a Niuean plantation tour, browsing the Niue market, picking up Niue honey made from the world's cleanest bees, and sampling Niue food at an umu night. There is only one accommodation with an on-site restaurant in Niue. Foodies coming to the island will need to either stay in their self-catering accommodation or stay close to the island's restaurant to get a foodie fix. We have more foodie tips on niuepocketguide.com. Let's move on with family holidays in Niue. Looking for something a little different for your family getaway? Niue is like nowhere else, offering families a fun and educational experience on the world's largest raised coral atoll. Wildlife and nature are the key aspects of a Niuean holiday, where families can find a safe snorkeling spot, see stunning coral formations, and enjoy some downtime, whether it's at the local mini golf course or by the pool. Things to do in Niue with kids include having a swim at the Limu pools, exploring caves and snorkeling with fish at the Talava Arches, treating the kids and yourself to an educational kids club, playing some clifftop mini golf, and getting in some pool time. We have more things to do in Niue with kids on niuepocketguide.com. Niue provides family with a home away from home experience, with most accommodations providing all of the essentials in a holiday home. Nevertheless, if you're looking to treat yourselves, there are resort-style accommodations to indulge in. Next up, adult-only holiday in Niue. The adult-only getaway is fast becoming a top trend in South Pacific travel, a holiday where you can enjoy your island getaway undisturbed. However, with so little tourists, Niue isn't an island that exactly needs adult-only resort and activities. You often find yourself at top attractions alone. Nevertheless, if you want to ensure your getaway has the right tone, there are limited but fantastic options when it comes to adult-only accommodation, as well as a few adventures and relaxation experiences aimed at adults. Things to do in Niue for adults include sipping cocktails at one of the Niue's bars, heading out on an exciting scuba diving excursion, unwinding at a heavenly massage, playing a round of golf, tackling game fishing on a fishing charter. Niue's adult-only accommodation consists of 3 properties: Laos Getaway, Petit Hatava, and the Restoration Reef. A good alternative to adult-only accommodation will be one of Niue's holiday homes, usually a quiet location, except for the chickens, and with only the people you choose. We have more adult-only travel tips for Niue on niuepocketguide.com. Finally, before talking about 10 different travel tips to travel to Niue, let's cover weddings and honeymoon in Niue. Whether you're looking for a honeymoon at a destination as unique as your couple you are, or even looking to tie the knot in paradise, Niue presents an alternative yet utterly romantic destination in the South Pacific. Find yourself in secluded snorkeling spots and beaches, learn a new skill together in scuba diving, or even see how you will fare in the wild on a guided nature tour. Things to do in Niue for couples include Finding yourself a secluded and snorkeling spot? See how you will fare being marooned together on an island with a nature tour? Stargazing in some of the darkest skies in the world? Exploring the coast together by sup or kayak? Or impressing each other with a huge catch on a fishing charter? We have more activities for couple on niuepocketguide.com. When it comes to accommodation for couples, from cottages nestled in tropical forest to modern resorts, there is quite the range when it comes to couple accommodation. Check out stays to suit a range of style, budget and taste on niuepocketguide.com. Now that you know all the different styles of holiday you can have in Niue, I'm going to share some travel tips with you in order for you to have a smoother holiday in Niue. First up, Niue is not about the beach, it's about the adventure. Let's address the elephant in the room right out of the gate. There are not many beaches in Niue. That's simply not what the Rock of the Pacific offers. Instead, it has chasms, coastal arches, caves, beautiful forest and mind-blowing coral reefs. Niue is about adventuring along rocky sea tracks through the luxuriant forest and stumbling into a glistening swimming hole full of colorful fish. If that sounds like your thing, then you are in for a treat. With that in mind, it is to no surprise that almost all the sea tracks are best explored at selected tide times. Reef walks and swimming holes are extremely tide dependent, while some tours depend on the tide to launch their boats. The silver lining is that it makes planning your days really easy. Just look at what the tide will do and plan one low tide and one high tide activity and you are all sorted. The Niue Tourism Information Center and selected accommodations publish the tide times for the whole week, so grab a chart to plan your week. Next up, get a car. Public transport is not widely available in Niue, so the best way to explore the island is to rent a car. This will give you the freedom to let yourself get lost by following one of the many blue signs around the island that point to a cryptic point of interest. It's only when following them to the end that you will truly know what you are in for. Trust us, it's usually something amazing. Plus, driving in Niue is a lot of fun between the low speed limit from 40 to 60 km per hour and dodging countless potholes. Driving is an experience in itself. Pack reef shoes. If we did not make it clear just yet, you will get to see a lot of stunning reefs when venturing around the shores of Niue. Because the rocks and corals are super sharp, packing some good reef shoes is a must. We even recommend packing hard sole reef shoes as opposed to the soft neoprene ones. And of course, when in the water or on the reef, be extremely careful when you are stepping, as coral can take decades to grow only a few centimeters. As a side note, you may also want to consider reef-safe sunscreen in order not to damage the local coral. Dress with cultural sensitivity in mind. Locals are very religious, where respectful clothing is quite important to them. With this in mind, men should avoid wearing swimwear outside of the swimming areas and should avoid walking around shirtless. Women are advised not to wear overly revealing attire and to put a top over their bikini when outside of swimming areas and accommodation. To be fair, after you first sunburn, you'll appreciate the layer. Sundays are really quiet. As mentioned previously, some Niueans are very religious. God and religion play a huge part in the local culture. As such, Sundays are, religiously observed as the day of rest. No tours are running and many restaurants are closed. A few exceptions include the scenic Matavai Resort restaurant and the nearby Washaway Cafe in Avasele. The gas station has also a short opening hours on Sunday, So we recommend planning your Sunday around scouting a couple of sea tracks and, exploring even more sea tracks. Seriously, there are many of them. Tourists are also welcome to any church services around the island where you will experience angelic singing by the locals. On niuepocketguide.com we have more things to do for you on a Sunday, so check it out. If you do have any medical conditions or are gluten-free, then come prepared. Niue is a small country, really small. It only gets supplied once a month by a large cargo boat and has to make up the rest with good old-fashioned hard work. As such, Niue does not have a pharmacy, only a local hospital where you will be able to get a limited prescription. So if you need medication or suspect you will need medication, come prepared. We give you some more ideas on what medication to pack in your first aid kit on niuepocketguide.com. On a similar note, if you have a specific diet, local restaurants will be happy to accommodate, provided that you supply a few ingredients. For example, Kaika restaurant is happy to make gluten-free pizza if you provide the base. Rice dishes are available of course, but if you have another type of special diet, pack a few backup food items. Next up, in the high season, book early for everything. From July to October, Niue experiences some of its best weather conditions and the popular whale season is in full swing. This makes this period the high season in Niue, meaning that it is the time of the year when most tourists are visiting the country. During this time, we recommend booking your trip 3 to 4 weeks in advance. This includes accommodation, popular activities like whale swimming and scuba diving, but most surprisingly, your evening dinners too. Yes, you need to call in a couple of days earlier and ask to reserve a table. Restaurants have a very limited seating and only take one booking per table per night. Almost every night in the high season sees restaurant fully booked, as seen during our last trip to the island. It's also worth exploring Niue in the low season for this reason and more, so check out Niue Pocket Guide for more low season travel tips. Let's talk about the whale watching season. The whale season in Niue runs from July to October and allows you to get up close with some of the most beautiful marine mammals on the planet. Important things to note is that you can only swim with whales with a licensed operator, and the whale season is also the busy tourist season. Finally, let's go for one last tip, and that will be always have some cash with you. In Niue, FPost and credit card are widely accepted. However, you may be charged a credit card fee ranging from 2 to 5%. With that said, there are still quite a few places that will only accept cash, so having a bunch of cash with you is advisable. Plus, Niue has been known to experience credit card system outages that have lasted a day or two, making cash all the more important. I've linked in the description of this video an article called 30 Travel Tips for Niue. Those were only 10 out of all of them, so I really strongly advise you to check it out. In the meantime, thank you very much for checking out this video. I hope that this gave you a good understanding of what a holiday in Niue can entail for you. If you do have more questions, make sure to put them in a comment of this video. You can also like and subscribe to say thank you for all the hard work. And of course, if I didn't say it enough in this video, check out niuepocketguide.com for all your travel tips for Niue.